Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Camberley Chess Club Zoom meeting. So this evening we've got a couple of items, and I will start by handing over to James Roberts.
So I recently purchased a book, big chunky book. So it's called How to Reassess Your Chess, 4th edition. Jeremy Silman, quite a famous and well-regarded chess writer. And I was just going to run through a few positions. It's focused on sort of mid-game tactics and strategies and plans and stuff. So I thought it'd be good for sort of like intermediate level. That's why I got it, because I think I can learn from some of these positions. So let me pull up my screen. So hopefully you'll be able to see.
Yes, thank you.
My screen now.
The full board.
So yeah, I guess the idea. So I've got 3 sections in part 1. So I'll just do those this time round. And yeah, I'll explain as we go. So I'll keep the engine off for now.
Yeah, certainly.
There's not.
We want your opinion and take.
Yes. So
not the engines.
in terms of analysis of the moves played, I haven't gone through it, but I'm happy to stop if you want to interject at a certain moment. But at the end, you'll see there's a question, and we can discuss it there. So d4, knight f6. I'm not a d4 player, so I don't know a lot of the theory, but I think this sort of starts some what's the move? I'm not sure what it's called, this line, but this is seen a lot. I know that for
Nimzo
sure.
Indian, probably.
Nimzo Indian?
Yeah, it will get
That's
into
that's
Nimzo
it.
Indian if he plays knight c3 and bishop b4.
Knight c3, bishop b4. There you go.
Yeah.
So it's a Nimzo Indian game. Yeah, I'll just blast through the moves till we get to the.
And this is the
critical
Rubinstein
position.
variation. I mean, this e3 thing is called the Rubinstein.
Mhm.
The 4th move e3, right? That is a Rubinstein variation.
Okay. So takes in the center, b4 push to claim space, claiming more space. Knight jumps into the middle. I'm not sure the idea here.
The idea here is to prevent e4. That is what I think.
I see. Yeah, because the long diagonal is protected.
Yeah,
as well.
so because white wants to blast open the center and play e4, e5, so black plays knight e4, preventing that idea, preventing that expansion in the center.
Interesting. So then, yeah, developing the bishop is supporting the center again. Centralizing the rook, protecting the b pawn. Rook e6, knight e2, and then a5. So this is the critical position in the book. And the idea here is we want to analyze the positional weaknesses and positional advantages for. So in this case, we're on the perspective of white. So the question here is, what information can we gain from this position to decide white's next move? So if anyone has any ideas, shout out positional ideas or observations about the position that you think could help us choose our next move. So for instance, white has an advantage on the queen side in terms of space. So that's one example.
Yeah.
Anyone care to shout out anything else?
Let me think for a minute.
I was a bit worried with rook e6 and black's pieces seem to be homing in better on white's king.
Yes.
Yes. He's got fairly broad options, black.
Yeah, h2 looks like it could get weak soon, and I might even be tempted as black to throw pawns forward now, because white's pieces are more on the queen side.
Yes.
James, do we know what game this is, or doesn't it say?
Yes, sorry, it's Topalov Sasikaran Sofia 2007.
Sofia is the capital of Bulgaria.
Bulgaria, indeed.
So it's
okay. Can I share my thoughts? What I'm thinking, I don't know. It will require some more thinking, But I'm thinking that, okay, it is certain what Martin is telling. Black is trying to attack white's king. I mean, this is a typical play even in the Queen's Gambit decline. Black is typically, this is the Carlsbad structure, right?
Mhm. Where we have
And
the
in
half
that,
open C.
black is generally playing king side attack, and white can play on the queen side also. So here, what I am thinking, I mean, one of the ideas could be that the knight on e4 is pretty strong. So either to move the knight backward to d2 and push f3 and kick the knight. This is and then try to expand on the expand in the center. But one has to see whether moving the knight away, it gives black the time to launch an attack on the king side. So this has to be weighed actually. So whether knight d2 can be played or not, and with the idea of playing f3 and e4 is what I'm thinking. But my hunch is if I have to play in blitz, I will probably play knight d2. If it is not failing tactically, I would go with that idea. Knight d2, f3, e4. And if you don't do anything, then even e5 and f4, and that sort of king side, I mean, expanding in the center.
Okay, yeah, that's an interesting idea, and we can certainly check that. Anyone else?
I'm
James?
wondering if we did do that, whether the white e pawn might become a bit fragile if you play f3 early on. I mean, if we're really going to cement that knight on e4, and why not? I'm wondering whether you can support it with f5 and then knight d, f6. It would still leave the rook fairly fluid to go to any one of three squares on its third rank. And all of them would be very, very annoying for the white player.
But
So
okay, if
is
you
that
play
the-
knight, if
this
you
is
play
your
knight
ref-
d2, knight
Mhm.
d2, f5, f3, and then when you move the knight backward, immediately I push e4.
I do see that. It would be a lot to calculate at my level.
Yeah, it will certainly, it just requires calculation, that is certain, but
Well-
the knight on this e4 square is very strong in the sense that it is cramping white a lot. That this is my idea that.
At the moment it is, but it may not stay there forever. But what the point I was making is that it's twofold. What black's game plan is probably twofold: to attack the castle king, but also to secure the center. It's almost neutralizing white's counterplay. In fact, I can't see any counterplay. Just to exchange the knight off, well, big deal. I think the time spent pushing the b pawn and then a4 was appears to be wasted.
But is that an advantage for white, all this queenside space? Is that something we can exploit to decide our best move? So you're saying knight d2 is a waste of time because
No,
of all
I
this
didn't say
space?
that. I said b4 and b4 and then b5 and a4 would appear at this stage to be a time wasted because otherwise black is better, has more space. Options, sorry, not more space. He definitely doesn't have more space, but it's got more options on the queen side. And in that regard, then the opening hasn't been a success, full stop, for white.
And there is one more idea I'm just thinking after James is telling this, that this dark squared bishop is very crucial for the attack, okay, for black. So I'm also contemplating about bishop a3, trying to trade that dangerous bishop, okay, that is another idea which comes to my mind, because see, the light squared bishop on b7 is dormant till now, but this
Yes, it
bishop
is.
is the one is quite aggressive and actually aiming at the king. And if bishop a3 in a way forces the bishop trade, I don't see that you can prevent the bishop. You have c5.
That would be
c5,
yeah.
whether it's playable or not, one has to
I think white would definitely like to exchange off that bishop on d6. Yes. There isn't at the moment any Greek gift possibilities on h2.
Yeah, that is not there, but whether black can counter it with c5, one has to see that. Bishop a3, c5, and passa is there, but okay.
It's a bit hard to work it out, isn't it? Because you can either play pawn takes pawn or pawn takes pawn en passant.
Yeah.
All takes pawn en passant looks much stronger because
Was it?
it's well, it's not bad for white, is it? I like bishop a3. As I've been hearing.
I think so. I think
like it.
you would have to accept that the opening has not gone well for white, and the bishop on d6, black's bishop, is a star player, isn't it? Whether in fact we accept the idea that we're going to snipe at the king on h2 in conjunction with a queen move or anything, all the moves all the trumps, however mild, will appear to be in black's hands.
If you get the bishop off, then the knight's got a square on f4.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And the bishop, as you correctly say,
James can tell us his idea. He has looked at the position deeply, right?
Have we discussed the position enough at this point, James?
We can discuss more. Yeah, we can discuss more also if you want. Yeah, Martin
Yes.
and all.
So I can tell you, you've found the move in the book. So whether that's knight d2 or bishop a3, I'll leave that a mystery for now. But
well, it may be that both of them, I mean, as Jim Plaskett would say, you can't play them at the same time. But you can play. Our thoughts would probably ricochet between those two.
But I think bishop a3 seems more logical first to get rid of that bishop and then later on play knight d2 and stuff like that, knight d2. So I think as for me, I want to play bishop a3 urgently. This is my take. I mean, because this bishop is menacing on d6, and my bishop on b2,
menacing.
My bishop on b2 is completely shut by the pawn on d4, and it's not doing anything.
Not at the moment, it isn't, no. So I think I would vote for bishop at a3 then.
Me too.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that is the move in the book.
Wow.
And so let's run through the positional analysis of the position and draw out the key observations. So white has this advantage on the queen side in terms of space, as James was saying. Maybe that's something we need to justify. So that's one possible reason that bishop a3 is one of the better moves. Black has this possible weak pawn here. Whether we can exploit that or not is something for the future. If black pushes the c7 pawn to c6 or b5, b takes c6, whether that's taking the pawn or en passant, will leave a hole on d6 and b6 for our pieces to exploit. So maybe, this move that you were mentioning, bishop a3, c5, b takes c6 en passant, leaves too many weak holes in black's position.
Correct. The rook can come to b1 and later on attack b6, right?
And again, one thing that you all identified is that this bishop is a strong attacker, that with no way to block this pawn or move the knight and then block the sight of the bishop, it could end up being too slow. And yes, positionally, this bishop is very strong.
Yeah.
Compared to our dark squared bishop, which Siddhartha, as you correctly identified, it's probably our weakest piece, staring into the pawn with no prospects of going anywhere. This knight controls some nice central squares. This bishop x-rays the weak h7 pawn with the king, and this knight has prospect of coming to the center or join more quietly onto the kingside attack. So with all of those things in mind, bishop a3 is the book move. And just to continue some lines,
this is what happened in the game?
No, so this is just this is the computer.
Okay. This is what is mentioned in the book.
So in the book, we had the move bishop a3, and so in the game, rook c8 was played.
Oh, that's quite cunning, isn't it?
Yes.
So it's
trying to take advantage of this open file if things were to open up.
before it opens.
Yes, before it opens, indeed. Right.
See how he likes that.
So I'll turn the computer off again to go through the book
Yeah.
moves. But
Nice.
bishop takes, c takes, rook c1 offering the trade, knight df6, and then h3.
So prevent knight g4. Is it?
Maybe it will find the game. Oh, here we go. This will make things easier.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so much better.
So I guess the idea is to fight against these weak isolated pawns for white, and black needs to generate some sort of counterplay. I guess this stops the knight infiltration,
Yeah.
gets the pawn out of the way of the bishop in later once this knight moves. I think the idea for white is to try and get this knight into the game and these rooks doubled on this file in order to fight against these pawns.
And even knight f4 will attack the pawn on on the weak pawn on d5 now, right? After
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
And no bishop to contest it, which
Yeah.
was
It's
one of
funny,
the
actually,
reasons.
the double pawn, we tend to think stereotypically that the double pawn will be weak, but actually they're quite handy at the moment, providing you take into account that, it's not the best structure ever.
Yeah, in fact, I was also reading, coincidentally, I mean, funny enough, as James was also reading this book, I was also reading the third edition of the book. I have the soft copy of it.
All
And
right.
I was, in fact, he has shown a fantastic game, which I would ask you guys to later on look at it. There is a game between Larson. Larson was playing black, and there was another guy who played white. And in that one, Larson had a double pawn in the Karo Khan. In fact, he begged for a double pawn, and he got an open G file, and he attacked very well. In fact, so that is what he shows, that we sometimes in chess we are thinking dogmatically, and dogmatic thinking prevents us from getting to the correct move. I mean, in fact, Jonathan Rawson, he has mentioned that in his book, Rule Independence in Chess. As you become stronger, there is no one rule which will fit in all positions. You have to actually think about exceptions as you become stronger and stronger. And a strong player is able to find when is the exception. At least for me, I found that I sometimes think in dogmatic way, and that prevents me from finding the good move.
Yeah, so
We
well
appear to-
done to everyone for finding the right move, bishop a3. Yes, just trying to get rid of this bishop, open up the c file for your other pieces.
After rook c8, I think I might be inclined to play bishop b2 just to give us a laugh, and say, well, now you've played, but because of the static nature of the black queenside pawns, it probably wouldn't be worth anything, and you can probably break with c6 or c5 anyway.
Yeah. But one thing, that why did black take with this? He wanted to get activity. I think that was the reason he voluntarily took the double pawn, right? Otherwise, he didn't take it with the rook.
Oh yes, that's a point, isn't it? Why didn't he take it? Well, I suppose he just wanted to open to justify rook ac8.
Yeah, he wanted to open the c file and get
That's
some
an interesting
activity.
point. Yeah,
I suppose this pawn is also a weakness, so maybe it's worth getting it out the way.
Yeah.
It comes a weakness again.
the movement
wonder
of a
what
rook
the
is
difference
is
is.
fairly cumbersome.
The computer's
What
so
does the computer say?
if you take, you get tempo on the rook,
So what?
and you get a nice center.
No.
Interesting. Or
Yeah.
you have the option to play.
Oh,
Yeah, I think black wanted some activity. That could be the reason. So, I mean, in the book, have they explained why black took with the c pawn? Do they explain this? Because this is very interesting move, c d6.
So the explanation in the book for taking with the pawn and not the rook is because it leaves this pawn weak on c7.
Okay.
Not that weak.
in the sense, weak in the sense white can pile up and then attack there. That is why he's calling it weak.
No,
You
surely
can't-
And-
the reason is that it's to justify the rook move to c8 because he wants to open the c file. Otherwise,
Yeah.
why the hell do it?
Well,
Yeah.
that too. This pawn now covers the knight.
Yeah, prevents
E5
knight
as
jumping
well.
from, yeah.
Well, anyway, let's press on, please.
Yeah,
Yes.
but it's a very interesting move. CD6, I think
Yes,
it's a very
it
interesting
is.
move, which
Yeah.
at least for me, I wouldn't have played.
So the second game, and this is a fun one.
Oh, is
Um,
that it? You're not going to carry on with that
I'm
game?
going to carry on.
We can see it to the end, but it's a long end game.
Right, we'll just whiz through the next few moves. I want to see black attack on the king side.
I'm on the edge of my seat here.
Yeah.
Topalov versus what are the two players? Topalov versus
Yeah, I didn't get the black.
Sasakiran.
Shashikaran. Okay.
Yes, that's right. So I think we got to
So a Bulgarian
this
versus-
position.
Yeah.
with some trades.
Yeah.
So I guess trying to come here. Well, I don't know what other reason you would have, but control this square again.
What happened in this game?
That's what I'm curious to see.
Well, yeah, I know, but I thought I'd spoil it for you and ask in advance.
No.
Yes. I don't know.
Some maneuvering.
Going
and-
after this pawn, yeah.
Yeah.
Now the game's changing a lot. The double pawns are becoming.
Yeah, I think
Probably
that's
We all doubled.
so
Well,
really strange.
Yeah.
It's
I mean, black
trying
has
to
not-
rewrite for activity.
Black didn't attack on the king side. It's evened up, and now the black double pawns look weak to me.
Yeah,
because
so
see I think this is another rule. Some pieces have got traded, so black's attack is not there, right? The rooks are not there. There are
Yeah.
only 3 minor pieces.
Wow.
Difficult to attack.
So maybe black shouldn't have opened on the c file and should have just attacked on the king side.
yeah, so I think opening on the C file allowed trading of the big pieces,
Yeah,
which
the
meant
two
that
major-
these pawns became more pronounced and white's structure is just a lot
Mm.
better, more queenside space.
What
Um,
did happen in the end? In the end,
It looks like white won the game. So this was the decisive move to stop black's kingside attack, create a weakness for the end game, trade everything off. So yeah, I think James's suggestion of rook takes might have been an improvement to stop all of these trades and
Yeah,
try and continue the attack.
don't you
Yeah.
think that whilst that may or may not be true, he shouldn't, the error lies with rook a c8.
yeah, that's a wasted move if you don't
Um,
follow through. That's-
Yeah, either you do it or you don't. You can't sort of ghost it.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I would maybe reinforce the knight on e4 a bit more. But I don't know.
Yes.
Anyway, we've got
So
combination here.
this sacrifice, interesting.
Yes.
What's the idea here? I was supposed to open up this line for the queen, and then you got the bishop interposing as well.
How is he
Okay.
getting back
Well,
the
queen.
piece? Oh, okay, it's
with
threatening,
mate
threatening, yeah, not
Well,
threatening,
check, block,
and then take the
and then
knight, yeah.
mate. Yeah.
F pawn can move now. Yeah.
That's a nice move, isn't it?
Yes.
Don't tell me.
So
it's-
really piling up on everything.
Yeah, knight f5. is
Defends
a
it
threat.
nicely.
Well,
Very nice. You can't take the bishop
Yeah.
because of the fork.
actually, it's a shame he did that because I'd like to have recaptured with the knight on that square after we play queen takes knight.
Yeah, maybe this was more forcing to get the knight off, but then your
I
queen's
dare say, I mean, at their
offside
level,
and
the-
but he has the extra piece. Even though
Yeah,
I don't know,
he's
queen
not.
takes e3. I mean, it's pretty desperate for black. So any port in the storm, I think I would want to. Well,
Using
no, that's
So what happens here then?
Well, I don't know, but I can't believe he didn't explore it in
Queen e3. Okay, let's go there. Queen e3. if
considerable
you do.
depth.
Yeah, let's turn that off.
Yeah,
See what
Queen
the idea
E3,
is. So the
king
knight can't
H6.
take because it's pinned.
Yeah.
Queen takes.
Queen e3, king h2, then your knight you will have to go back, right? Queen, you will have to move back.
Yeah, to
Okay,
defend
so-
the knight.
So once you move back, I will have knight f5. What else I have? Knight f5.
Well, I think black is surviving. What do we think, gentlemen? Is black surviving?
Yeah, I think
I think knight f5 and h5. I'm thinking about that. Suppose you play queen e3, you can make the move on the board. Queen e3, king h2. Then you'll have to go back, right?
No, not necessarily.
Take d4.
Okay, queen d4. Oh, queen d4. Okay. Queen d4 if you do.
It's well defended, that king with the knight.
Okay, then I have knight g3 probably with the idea of h5.
Don't think that's enough. I can play
Yeah.
queen takes h4 in a
I
twinkling.
think the extra
fact, that
piece,
loses it.
because now the bishop's going to come back
Yeah,
into the
okay,
game
so
once the queen moves.
we
In
might
fact-
have done something incorrect. Let's go back. There will be some point, right?
White is lost.
Topolov would have found something. Go back. I
At the
mean,
time, he was world champion, wasn't he, or some lowly position?
here.
He's faded out, actually, isn't he? Topolov.
So queen e3, king h2. What else he has? And you are telling queen d4. Queen
Yeah, to get this
d4.
pawn moving, bishop in the game again.
Queen d4. Let's find out something. Queen d4 should not be holding for black, right? What would be the thing?
Well, white can resign. I mean, it's completely clear cut. I mean, in this position, if I was the white player and it was white's move, I'd play king f2, probably, wouldn't I? But I haven't got any reason to carry on playing.
Well, white wins this game.
White wins, so we are missing something. Okay, so
White wins.
Yes.
yeah. So after queen e3, king h2, queen d4. Let's think why queen d4 must
It's a
be a
game of
mistake.
Larson's, didn't you say?
Oh, well, if you go queen d4, it protects this, so you sort of have to play queen d4. Why not capture and defend this weak square?
Yeah, so queen d4, and then what we can do? I was thinking of queen d5, but you have bishop d5. Otherwise, would have done queen d5. Queen d5 is not possible. Some other moves. It's very interesting. There's some tactical idea. Queen e3, king h2, queen d4.
I don't see that there is one. We'll put the computer on then and put us all out of our misery, unless Silman actually mentions the answer.
King f1 it likes, or queen h2. So it says it's a draw here. So queen d4 only move for black.
Go on.
Just king g3.
Oh, that's the point. Right. It shut me up, isn't it? Right.
King h6.
Maybe queen h8. And we can just chase him around. Knight f4. I don't know. Knight f4 is probably. I can't believe we want to exchange. And that's probably good enough for. Yeah, because now we're threatening to take on G. Oh no, we can't. I was going to say we can take on G7. No.
Yeah, so if they.
Yeah,
Here I'll play queen. Yeah, you can't play king f6.
No, you can't play king f6.
because I'll play queen g7. That ending probably will be lost, and then I will play knight e6 and
Yes, you will. Yeah, no
And then
question.
you're blockading these pawns. with no
blockading
way
the
to
pawns.
remove it.
Yeah, that will be
Push
winning.
these. Yeah.
Even if you play king f7, then king f7. Okay, you have a chance of king f7.
Yeah, I think that's the best move, isn't it?
Yeah. King f6 is not possible. That is for sure.
No, because that blocks the queen. You blocks your own queen.
Uh,
You've got to get the. But if you play that, what white hasn't? Surely white's run out of checks. So
but white will play queen h7. Black's pieces are also a little bit paralyzed, right?
but he's a piece up. He's winning. He's winning easily.
Uh,
Well, you can't be a little bit paralyzed. You're either.
no, I will play h5. The idea is h5 h6, right?
Well, yeah, but good luck. I mean, that's how the game would continue if I was playing you. But with this play, no, I don't mean that disrespectfully, but probably that is what would happen, isn't it? And I'd hope to either.
Yeah, what you're telling is right. But let's see. Let's calculate this king f7, queen h7, and then what will you do? I want to play h6, I mean h5, h6. How will you disentangle yourself?
I think I might move my queen, maybe to f6 to. If I can get my pawn on d4, then the bishop speaks, and I can threaten a distant passed pawn. Well, they are passed pawns, aren't they?
So, Siddhartha, what would you play here?
Possibly h5, right?
No, because queen g5, and then the knight hangs.
Yeah, that is.
You can't go another piece down, can you? I can't believe.
No, I can, but okay, I'll play h6 and get back the piece. But that is whether that's good enough or not. No, not here, not here.
If you do win back your piece, but if it brings about queen exchange and I can stop the promotion, then you can resign on the spot.
Here,
This looks a bit dangerous.
Yeah, it looks dangerous, but okay, after king d2, I'll play king g3 only, right? White is fighting for a draw only.
Oh, yes, he is. You're right. But that's probably the best line, isn't it? Didn't you say in the actual game that white won?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Correct. So it was this line here. So the knight's sacrifice. Queen h2. Queen e7 was the move played, and we know from the computer that queen d4 was the only move.
Yeah, well, that's
Martin's instincts were right. He said queen d4, right?
I always do the opposite what Martin says. It held me in very good stead these many years.
So what's the win here?
Yeah, come on, what's the win?
Knight f4 check. Black, what would black do? Black will probably play. There's still some tactical ideas are there. Not straightforward.
Well, if queen e7 it is merited a double question mark, what the hell was better? And now what does white do to kick the boot? To stick
Knight takes knight.
Knight takes knight? No. Really?
No, let him play
Trying something different.
No, you don't take. I think
It's
probably knight f4, then king f6. Let's think about it. King f6, what will happen in that case?
Can you play g4?
Not very straightforward. This is tricky. I think some mating net would be there, right?
oh, that's nice. Well,
but that is you are only losing then. If you play queen d5, bishop d5, this black will be a knight up. but you have 3 pawns.
He's a knight
That's-
up already, so if I can neutralize the pawns, it's worth something, but it's not the best. The best hope is to get perpetual, isn't it?
But this queen d5 is not, will it? I think it's a good idea because 3 pawns can outpower the knight there, but still,
But the queens are on the board still.
no, after queen d5. You are suggesting queen d5, right? Bishop d5, then knight there fork. When he moves, then you give up the knight for the
Oh, I
king.
see what you mean.
Knight for 3 pawns with the king
It
supporting.
would need a
It will
stronger
be
player
interesting.
than me to answer your question. I don't know, but
It's a very interesting endgame.
yes, it
actually.
is an interesting idea. I didn't necessarily see that, but I'd like to see the other bloke's face when they did it.
Roberts, what do you say? It's an interesting endgame, right? Not very easy for black to win this, isn't it? Probably the black
I
should
would-
win. Hmm.
Yeah, I would have thought that black can maybe win with the 2 pieces, but yeah, stopping 3 pawns isn't easy, but in the same breath, pushing 3 pawns isn't easy.
No,
Takes a
three
lot of
pieces
moves.
for an 3 pieces for an. I mean, knight is not a great defender of the rook against the rook pawn, and then there are
Oh
FG
well,
pawns.
I'm forgetting that the bishop's not on
Bishop
the
is
board
not there.
anymore.
It is knight versus
yeah.
3 pawns.
I'm-
FG pawns.
I think the king probably has to help the pawns.
Yeah, it has to help. Very interesting.
So the
endgame,
black
if it-
king is more active and can maybe get into the position and clean up.
No, he can't get up,
But-
get in the position. He has to go to king e7. When you take the queen, he is coming back. And then when you play king g3, king f6, king f4. So white king arrives in time.
Mm,
Yes, it does.
I think that could be winning. Should we play it through?
Go on then.
So what was the idea? Yeah, computer doesn't like it.
It is drawish.
let's
Then
see.
let's see what he says. King g.
Yeah, let's try your king g3. So
Oh, black winning.
Oh, black will. What is it?
Blunders on the opening.
That's right.
and it wants the king to go back.
Hang on, couldn't we come to f5 with check and then take the d pawn?
Yeah, nothing wrong with that either. That was just the top computer move.
Yeah. So king. Yeah. So you
I
are
was
not
just
able
pressing
to come.
spacebar.
You are not able to come activate your king, right? That quickly.
Yeah, I
think white. No,
You don't need to go for
no
hunting down the
it's-
pawn.
sorry. Yeah,
Got
the
to- I
pawns are
think
getting
got
hunted.
to bring the black king onto the king side and defend. You ain't winning this.
Yeah. Black is, but it was an interesting endgame actually. It's
It
nice
is
for-
interesting. Yes.
You don't need to
It's
go for
interesting
those
that
pawns.
these pawns can't win.
No, actually,
No,
we
they
didn't play
won't
the
run
best.
away.
We
No.
we didn't play the best moves for white. Probably he has to then start with.
Oh no, yeah, the queen's sacrifice.
After this, he has to start with then g4 h5 immediately. Give up that pawn. If
Yeah,
white wants the pawn, then yeah, g4 is what he's suggesting.
You're right.
but it goes straight to -3, so it's
-3.
still not
So
great.
Yeah.
hang on,
yeah.
sorry, I'm being a bit dense. -3 meaning what? That white's winning?
Yes, so -3 is black.
Black
has-
is black.
winning.
Black
has
is
a
winning.
piece advantage. Yeah, advantage of.
Yeah. So this endgame
Very
is then.
interesting.
Yeah.
So what's the actual move here?
If I was
Yes,
lucky.
g4. I think that's what I said. But I couldn't really see a good continuation. It's just that the king has nowhere to move. I
So
thought
yeah,
that
it's a
was quite
mating net.
interesting.
It's a checkmating net now. You can't stop g5.
Uh,
Oh, wow.
You
the
have
king,
that.
the king can get out.
Can you move the?
The computer's struggling, I think, because it says queen f7,
Yes.
and you can escape. And then g5 check. What
What
happens
it's
if the king
saying?
comes forward?
Queen is lost.
When you lose the queen.
Yeah, lose the queen.
And here
Yeah.
also,
I didn't see any of this coming. It's another game, isn't it?
Wow. it feels like this queen shouldn't be able to do anything, but it's just surviving. And then we have this double attack.
Well, it's actually
Well-
very tactical and tricky thing. Has to spend some
You could-
hours in
You can
figuring
just
out.
exchange everything off and then push the H pawn.
Yes.
So it's interesting, isn't it? The bishop on b7, because of the very nature of the static nature of the pawns, took no part.
No.
He's absolutely a spectator. Yeah. Oh. I'll be hornswoggled.
Very good.
Yes,
Yeah.
it was. Yes. Thank you, Jeremy Silman.
Well, it seemed that at the start of the game, the black kingside attack with the rook here was going to be quite devastating. But yeah, this bishop a6 a3 move to trade it off was
Good one, yeah.
a good way to transform the position. I
And
think.
also
It
that
worked out.
this thing black doubled the pawn. Probably that was not the best idea.
Yeah, I think the idea to get rid of your quiet bishop for the strong attacking piece,
Yeah,
and then black's, although it's not immediately losing, I think, yeah, compromising your structure like that, giving
Yeah.
yourself isolated double pawns is not ideal, especially when
He didn't get
the
sufficient
strange. I think James is right. This move
tactical
is
compensation.
strange.
Yeah, well, you can see he's thinking. It's almost like daring somebody, isn't it? So
Yeah,
right
you're
then,
going to
you can have
trade,
it.
so I get the file. But then everything's coordinated for white in order to trade things off.
Yeah,
and
I think-
if black had played rook d6, then I think it was not so easy for white also to win. Probably, right?
The computer thinks that there's a decisive advantage after rook
After
d6,
knight.
which is interesting
Yeah. Okay, because yeah, you showed that knight e5
because
thing.
this knight e5 move, and then you're just holding on to the pawn.
Yeah, very strong.
I think
Oh, I
the move
see.
is-
You go a pawn up.
Yeah.
All right.
Shouldn't black just take the bishop on a3 when offered,
Well,
And
that's
then-
the point.
and then carry on with its original plan?
c5.
I wonder.
Well,
what
I'm not even sure about c5.
No,
I mean,
Yeah,
that's
just
good
go
enough
for the
for-
king side. Just go for the king side.
the
Can we
queen side pieces of white are doing nothing. The rook, bishop, knight, and queen are doing nothing, and we've got a rook, knight, and a queen, and another knight about to come into play. So can't we launch a king side attack?
Rook h6 then, right?
It could have done with you at Waterloo. Yes. Well, yeah, this is lovely, isn't it? That the luxury of that move.
I mean, even g5's coming, isn't it? And f5.
Oh yes. Yeah, I don't know. Can I take on e4? Is that ridiculous? I'm not claiming it's great, but if it's playable,
Where does the knight go?
I don't know. That's why I was hesitating.
I think you
Queen
can maybe
h4.
gang up.
Yeah, you can gang up probably.
Yeah, we don't care if we go queen h4.
No, we don't. Huh. You might not care, but
Queen h4, h3, right?
Yeah, I think it is just as simple. as
nothing
it-
else. No, I don't think so.
The queen rook battery you will need a minor piece to launch an attack. The queen
Our
rook-
bishop's coming into the game on c8 shortly. Or bring the other rook over to e8 first. I don't know. There must be a kingside attack here because
Of course there is.
I like this idea. I like this idea, but
but-
yeah,
but
maybe getting
maybe
the
after
rook.
rook e8.
Yeah,
I think we wasted a rook move. We moved a rook earlier, and I think that wasn't part of the attack.
You're right. Unless you're going to open the C file, you can't justify it.
no, this is without.
No,
the
not
rook
that
move.
one. The last rook
You
move.
don't like that move, which I suggested personally.
I think we moved that rook. Yeah, don't bother with that yet. Start preparing better. I'm not sure how, but
Not good enough.
F5 or F5 or G5 or something looks like a.
Not G5. That way. F5 is. I just wanted to preserve the option of moving the other knight to cement
Yep. Okay.
its friend on E4.
So this looks strong for black to me. I think. Well,
Yeah, no, you're right.
But white will certainly play knight f4, knight e5, and those things. I mean, whether he should start with knight e5 or knight f4. I mean, which move he should start with, but he will then put the knights there on.
This I think
yeah.
this just drops a pawn. So
Well, we're enjoying ourselves.
I think
I
this
like that
move is-
rook on a3. It's loose. So this at some point is going to be a
I wondered about that, whether in
queen template move on e7
on
or
e7.
something is coming.
Yeah. Don't think that you know.
So now you move the rook, obviously.
here.
And then we've got a
Which
threat
turns
with
out to be a
G5.
brilliant move after all, my suggestion.
Yeah. But it's move order, isn't it? He forced us to move the rook, so we moved it.
Yeah.
Now we've got a threat with G5.
Well,
But not h4. Probably then knight e5, right? Knight e5. You want to play queen h4. Queen h4. What is it? Nothing there.
Well,
I'll
we could always take and we could always take and pick up the e pawn with the tempo of the rook on a3. This rook on a3 is a loose move. Take the knight first and then pick up the pawn.
Yeah, that okay. So knight e5 is not the best. So then, yeah, correct. This is correct. Knight e5 he cannot play. He has to play defensively. What will white do then? White has to put pressure on the c file then, I think. Right?
queen c2. I mean,
Queen c2 sort of.
I'm not. I think putting the queen as the spearhead doesn't always work.
Yeah,
So-
but what to do? You can't play rook c3.
I think you need to put pressure on the d4 pawn. So b3 probably.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
that looks
Well.
cumbersome.
That is okay. That is good.
Knight f6, knight bf6.
I don't think that's good.
Defends everything.
It's playable. Well, can we take the knight now? And oh well, perhaps we should have delayed.
I think that
quickly.
looks
Well, that's
okay
a bit
because
illegal, but it's not so good now.
Ah.
we get this nice knight.
Yeah, we got a good knight. Yeah, so I think bishop has to trade with the knight there. After knight df6.
Yeah. So what's a better move here? I suppose the knight doesn't actually have to go there to defend because just moving it allows the queen to defend.
Yeah, I think
Knight knight df6 looks like a decent move, right? You are okay. Bishop takes, yeah.
yeah,
This-
but back to almost the same thing. I mean, it's
What's wrong with G5? Is it that bad?
Where in
I'm not sure. I'm not sure when, but at some point.
for God's sake, play it and
now?
put Martin out of his misery, which is
Yeah, now there's
not inconsiderable.
where do you put it? I think
Well, exactly.
it's probably
Yeah.
No. Well, then try there.
And what about knight d2?
Oh,
interesting.
how long's that been around?
Yeah, how
don't-
long have you been playing for the other side?
Well, I played Martin's move. That's
Well, I've
my
told you
excuse.
before that.
Yeah, so we missed this threat. But
yeah, so we can't move the
That's-
knight on f3. We'll keep it there.
Oh no, we're being silly. This knight was here.
Yeah, so let the
Yeah, so
knight
we
be on
can't do
f3.
this.
Yeah, we can't do
It was-
knight jump to e5.
Thought it was a move.
But
Well, even better makes G5 followed by G4 an actual threat.
Yes. So
Because-
I think we
Looks
have
more
to
like
do
a
something with
publicity
this
stunt.
knight.
I don't.
Target this square.
It doesn't matter. It's a threat. Oh, I see. Yeah. Okay.
yeah, But how will you stop that G5, G4? You will have to play H3 or what?
That doesn't stop it.
Not necessarily. I don't. The answer is I don't think we know. Oh, can we play the other knight to E5? Is that worth anything?
Probably better on F4, isn't it?
I wouldn't argue with that. But what about the crushing G5, which has been so popular?
Oh yeah, sorry.
Well,
yeah.
that's
Which has
it's
been
White's move here, so that's why
Spoken
we
of
don't
in
know.
many, the highest level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is
I'm liking black.
Yeah, there's
Oh, did
something's
anything?
gone wrong with
White's play.
White's coordination.
Yeah, that rook on A3 has got a lot to answer for.
I
Yeah.
think bishop takes A3 for black surely looks
Yes,
much
you're
better
right.
than not taking it.
I think so.
That way, it wouldn't have alerted black to have played the rook to C8, and
Yeah. So he wasted
I-
black wasted some time, and this doubling of the D pawn also was not.
In fact, there's another move. Go back one move. Queen D7. Sorry, Queen E7. After Bishop A3, Queen E7 also is a better move because now it forces the take of Bishop, and you take with Queen.
But the queen doesn't look great on D6, or does it?
Yeah, but it's no worse than what you did before, which is
Yeah.
the queen is
Correct.
very mobile, isn't it? As a piece, it's
Yeah.
the most mobile.
Correct. That is true.
But it likes
you're going to
this.
swap the bishops
So
off.
if the queen rook is going to move,
You
we don't
can't attack the queen on that square very easily with anything.
no.
Yeah.
I didn't think so.
Knight F4, then computer will
Anyway,
tell.
I prefer black,
I think at every stage we all did.
even though the computer says it's better for white. Yeah, interesting.
Well, I'd like to know analytically why it's better for white, but then again, that's
Well, the
Should
computer.
we take a
sees
short
far
break
further
here
ahead.
and then go back to the or did you have more on that game, James? I think
No, I was
we've done a break.
gonna move in onto the
we can
Next
look it up
next
at some
position,
point.
but yeah, I think analyzing these end games and how the games continue is
interesting.
which is not
Yeah.
what I plan to do, but I'm happy.
I
to
know it's an additional thing. I think the positional discussion is what you wanted, and I think that was interesting because there's a whole lot going on. To me, it looked great for black, but that can't be true.
Well,
Well, Martin-
I think these ideas of playing the queen here, and the positional maybe error of taking with the c pawn instead of the rook are also like follow through positional decisions, right? So
Yeah.
I guess it
you
works
wouldn't-
with
you
the
wouldn't-
theme.
You wouldn't waste the move rook A/C8 if you were going to take with the rook.
No, exactly.
So as
I think that's the problem here, isn't it? And it
we
gives
wasted a couple of moves there.
it lets white jump into the position. Nisikina, Niunu, and Namilov. I would hazard a guess.
Yeah.
Warsaw 2005. So this is an interesting game, and
You
I
want to
think
quickly
the idea.
show us how you got to this position? Very, very
Yeah,
quick.
it's a long one. So
Yeah, but just whiz through it. Just
a
whiz
French
through it.
defense,
Mhm.
trading some pieces. Queenside
Queenside
castle, which
castle.
is interesting.
Oh,
Trading off the bishop. I guess the placement of the bishop here when it's a queenside castle isn't so important. So trading off for the knight that's
good point.
controlling some central squares is okay.
This is pretty unusual so early, and is quite impressive for black.
And now, white could have played queen B7. Oh no, sorry. Yeah.
So white is going to destroy open the lines, right?
This is scary. This looks
Mm.
So both the sides are attacking like crazy.
yeah.
Yeah,
they
that's
don't
right.
care.
They are. Well, what could be more entertaining?
Trying to get the rooks in the game. I think Black's king is in more danger here. Looking
Yeah.
at
Correct.
this.
Yeah, what? Yeah, Black. Because
Why did Black play King F8?
Because
he didn't want a castle.
Well, clearly he doesn't want a castle, but what's he doing? I didn't understand.
Well,
that
this is something that somebody said to me quite recently about Basman, and the same thing about Korchnoi is they deliberately play something psychological to to be provocative, to say, right, hit me where it hurts and see if you can do it.
if you castle here, probably rook at
No.
g1.
No,
then
don't
what
castle. Don't castle.
No, I wasn't suggesting that, but it doesn't necessarily analytically have to be
The best move. Yeah.
for any.
I mean, a beginner would say, why not King D7 if you're not going to castle? Now, I'm not suggesting that's a good move.
No,
It
no,
might be too weak on the white squares. However, I'm asking, why move the king at all? Why are you going to F8? I don't understand the move.
I was trying to answer the question, but I can't do so analytically. I'm just saying it's provocative because
Right.
it's so committal.
Yes, no, I get what you mean. Yeah.
I think if you keep the king there on e8, white also has bishop f4. Keep the king back on e8. I also have bishop f4 idea.
Now that's a reason. Okay, I'm happy. I've got a reason now. Doesn't mean it's the right move, but I have a reason.
I mean, I am suggesting that white can
that's
try
a
to
good
open
reason.
up the position at some point of time by bishop
Yeah, no,
f4.
that's the reason.
I think it is this configuration of
Yes,
pieces.
yeah.
It's maybe it's just a I think they call it a prophylactic move just to get out of the way.
Yeah.
Which I suppose it makes sense.
Mhm.
So yeah, just mounting the pressure.
Ooh.
Okay, and then this is our position. So the question is, dynamic positions call for dynamic solutions. What is white's best move? So we can see that we're trying to attack here. Both kings are open, and I think it's a matter of tempo, isn't it? Who can get their ideas in play first? Any observations about the position that we can try to exploit?
Knight on
start
d7 is pinned.
Yeah, to start us off, the knight's
Knight
pinned.
is pinned,
And if we take the knight, he's got to recapture, no question.
But okay.
But that's nothing to set the world on fire. But
the rook on g1 is a strong piece with
yes.
g6, g7 behind. There's a funny combination coming with the bishop on c4 with its pawn on d5 with a threat through to f7, which is trying to guard g6.
Interesting.
Yeah, so somehow
and if you
we
can
have
follow that, ring in now.
So that's what my brain told me in 10 seconds.
No, I wouldn't argue with that.
Yeah, so one has to even think about unleashing the bishop on c4. The bishop on c4 is
It's not earning its money, is it?
Yeah, so probably, I mean, right now I'm not able to play bishop f4. I'm just thinking whether it can, because the moment the queen is removed, the d6 push is one of the key ideas.
You can play bishop f4 if we play another move that guards f4.
Oh, I think that's a bit.
Or just let's do it tactically.
Oh, I've just noticed something, gentlemen. If you play that, you can play queen h8 check and pick up.
Yeah, queen h8 check is there. So bishop f4, queen h8, king goes there. You can take the knight. That is possible.
I don't claim it's good because the white king is stark bollock naked.
But that's just a trade of pieces.
What about rook g4?
Yeah, but it's worth noting it.
Yeah, rook g4 is also an idea. Yeah, rook g4 with the idea of, but one has to the book says that this is a dynamic position. So it will be a puzzle where it's a forced sequence of moves which leads to some material advantage. This is for
Not-
sure.
Oh, rook
Not
G4,
necessarily.
bishop F4.
No, I don't like rook g4, full stop.
Rook G4 has an idea of playing bishop F4, but okay, let's see. Bishop F4, Queen F4, Queen there. I mean, Queen H8, King E7, Queen G7. I mean, what
Can't you
is
just
there?
play f5
And then he will play Queen F2, picking the
Okay.
rook there. The rook is
Yeah.
hanging.
Yeah.
So that doesn't work.
No.
Yeah.
So we have to see something else. How to involve the bishop? What about this? This doesn't look like rook G6 thing. It looks too much. Rook G6. If he takes with the pawn, no, it doesn't. I mean, we're just thinking whether this is a possible thing or not. He will take probably with the queen, and I push D6. Then
No.
we
You'd be lucky.
haven't got enough pieces left.
yeah,
Play
not
the
enough.
other side.
Yeah, we are leaving too many people. Yeah, so let's think. I mean, I was just
It's a brave try. I mean,
Just as a matter of interest, why aren't we considering just taking the pawn on E4? Am I missing something?
if you take the pawn on E4,
yeah, I think he takes h2 and it's
not H2, he can even think of rook E8, right?
Yeah, yeah, that's stronger. Yeah.
What will
that's a
you?
very nice move, isn't it? That's a good
Yeah.
that's a good response.
I mean, what is the response after that?
So that's what we're up against.
So rook G6. I mean, is it totally ridiculous, this idea?
I think
Yeah.
in
It
my
looks
opinion,
like ridiculous, or it has
yeah.
to be
But
prepared.
it's a mistake. I don't like the word ridiculous, but it's,
I just don't think there's enough pieces to warrant sacrificing
yeah,
the
such
rook.
a sacrifice. Okay, so what about? With that sense, rook G4 also looks like not a bad idea. I mean, right? You are
So what's black's reply?
okay after rook G4. Let's think about rook G4. What will black reply?
So rook G4 is the move in the book.
Oh, I was
Yeah.
right then.
Martin
Yeah.
is correct. So the idea is, it is the underpinnings of the position is that, you know, if we could get our queen here and take, or if we could get the bishop out the way and check, then
Yeah,
things get confusing. But you can't play bishop f4 straight away because of the too
yeah,
many defenders.
correct.
But
So,
that doesn't mean giving up on that idea
entirely.
entirely. So
correct.
rook g4 prepares that idea, and that is the book move.
Good job, Martin.
Thank
How
you.
how naff is f5 here? It's massively committal, but
The book doesn't mention f5, but let's
Okay, hold
have a
on,
look
let's
and see
figure
if
it
we
out.
Just
can.
carry on with bishop F4, don't you?
You can do that, yeah.
Carry on. And now, where's the queen going?
and wherever it goes,
We've got the check, and then probably we're going to pick up
oh, I
something.
think
So do
black's
we're dropping this pawn unless we move here, I think,
it's too committal. It's not just committal. It's
and the
rubbish.
bishop.
It-
Yeah, so queen moves here to defend both of these things,
Then
and then after the trade,
You
well,
are
no,
you
don't,
dropping the
don't,
pawn.
don't even
You
trade.
also
Go-
have
go queen
D6.
down first. Queen down first.
Yeah, queen
Queen
H8.
down,
Correct.
because then if the king can't keep on the white squares, it has to go on
Dark
then
square.
D6.
And
Yeah,
you've lost the knight.
and you lost the
lose
knight.
or you get D6 happen.
First, take the G7. Yeah, knight. Yeah, once he goes to king to
I knew
E7.
that really. I mean, I just deliberately said it to be.
Yeah,
That's what I was thinking of all this when I suggested rook G4, obviously.
Like you saw it in a second. Capablanca
Oh, yeah.
overlooked it. And
Yeah, so
Yeah,
this will
so
be
you've just
winning.
you've won a piece. Yeah.
That looks winning to
You
me.
won a game.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
f5 is not possible.
So
Uh,
f5 is not possible.
So let's think about the best move from black, right? You are suggesting that. Okay, so he has to stop
Queen,
bishop.
This queen takes
Queen
H2.
H2 is not a bad shout.
I think you've got to examine it with it.
Now,
But
Now
that-
you go. Now you.
Can you play queen f6?
Queen f6.
Guarding
we
the-
take
the
the
F
pawn.
The bishop's hanging.
Bishop is hanging.
Oh yes.
Probably
No,
queen.
but then hold on. A bishop is hanging. Then also you have the rook move, right? Rook h4.
Oh,
Yes,
After you
that's good fun. And then knight h5.
knight h5 is there.
God knows what's happening now.
oh.
White's lost.
could you play
No,
something
d6,
like,
pawn
could you play
D6,
something like this?
threatens mate.
D6.
Yeah, yeah, that's good enough.
Threatening mate.
I told you White was.
That's good enough.
I told you White was winning.
The key to this problem is getting the queen off D6 so that you can then play D6. That's
Yes,
that's
it
the
is.
key.
That is the Gordon knot.
And as somebody said at the beginning, the bishop on C5 is useless, but suddenly it's not useless.
The bishop on c4, you mean? Yeah.
C4, yeah, bishop C4. Yeah. So
Okay,
can
so
black-
let's see. This will be lost after he takes the pawn. So
In
what?
which case, it maybe the H pawn is just poisoned.
maybe.
In which
Where
case,
else do you go?
well, maybe we can move a rook to the center.
Well,
B-
try it. And then
B8.
we still go bishop F4, don't we?
Bishop f4, yeah.
That was our plan.
Yes, it was.
In fact, bishop G5 might even be stronger because it threatens mate. I'm not sure, but it might be more interesting.
But bishop f4 and this d6 is a very strong idea, unleashing everything, right?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
no,
so
okay,
I
let's
don't
go
think
back to bishop F5.
bishop f4 is a stronger idea.
F4 is better.
F5 is not a move.
No, well,
So now where's the queen going? Got to go back to.
back into its box. Surely we played queen h8 and
Yeah, so where will he go? Suppose he goes to queen
Seven.
d6.
Where?
Queen
We'll go
b6,
there.
Boston
Oh,
6.
b6. Yeah, sorry.
you
Yeah,
can't do that.
that was
Oh.
my initial thought.
D7 looks more defensive, but anyway.
But here also it looks very dangerous.
Yeah, we'll look at
still,
both.
d6, I think d6 will win. I'll win a piece, right?
Oh, that's threatening mate again.
Yeah, and once you play bishop d6, queen d6, and then queen h8, and pick the knight.
Well, yeah, but that's not winning.
Oh, it is
That's not as winning. Hang on, there's lots
one
of other
piece
things
up,
here.
one piece
Rook
up, and
E4 could have been
Rook
played.
takes e4 is stronger.
yeah. So now this is a. I think queen g7 is also winning, right? We are winning a piece. We are ahead by a piece, and the attack is.
Oh
going on.
yeah.
So it is.
Yeah,
Yeah, no,
I
you're
don't
right.
think there's nowhere good for the king to go.
So
Yeah.
don't you think it's a rout, gentlemen? Don't you think that black is losing in all lines?
Yes, so the book recommendation, well, not the recommendation, I suppose, but the book line is queen takes h2.
Okay. Then what?
Let's now think for white. Whether we found the best move or not.
We found the best move already. The book move, queen f6,
Yeah. Threatening,
and
yeah.
black resigned this game, I believe.
I think he did. I mean, it's
What? Because queen takes h6 is losing to rook h4.
Rook h4 or even this d6, right?
Yes.
We
D6,
our
found
old
D6.
friend D6.
D6 is more forcing, isn't it?
Yeah. D6 is unleashing the bishop. Once the bishop is unleashed, light squared bishop is unleashed, then black will collapse.
So the themes of this are get the bishop on c4 active by removing the queen, and then get the queen into f6 so that the f7 pawn is fixed, so that you
Yeah.
can then play d6.
Yeah, I think.
What is mentioned in the book, Robert?
Yeah, so the book suggested, yeah, this, and then black resigned.
So do they have some comments and what anything? Like Martin has told a good thing that the whole theme was to get rid of the queen from d6, the blockading queen. And queen is a very poor blockader, I think, and that is the
Yeah.
reason we are able to get this idea.
Yeah, I think the book doesn't say. There's a lot in the book, so it's hard to condense because it goes into a lot of lines. But
Right.
the essence of the position is that because the king didn't castle and there's nowhere, and you have all these lines open, and you have the tactical advantages here. You're on the half open file. Yeah, you've got this potential of the bishop.
Yeah.
Knight's pinned, and yeah, this bishop f4 move is really strong to allow the queen to come in. But obviously you can't play bishop f4, so you're using your rook to enable that. And yeah, I mean, at this point the game's already lost for black. It's just about finding the correct
Yes, it is.
the correct move. So yeah, in terms of analysis, there's not a lot because yeah, the position's lost, but it's just about
But
understanding
still,
what the
correct,
position
correct.
demands. Because it's a dynamic position,
Yeah.
as it says in the book.
Finding in
You
the
need to play
game,
something
correct.
that allows for tactics.
Correct. Even finding in the game rook g4 in a classical game, I would be very happy to play rook g4 with understanding that, okay, I want to play bishop f4 and d6.
Yeah, and I think as we demonstrated, there's a lot of lines to consider here that look reasonable, but
Yeah, you would be worried about playing rook g4 because of queen takes h2 or f5.
F5 will not be worried because he's opening
No,
up
that
king so much.
F5's a mistake.
F5,
Yeah,
you'll
sure.
not be worried about F5. I don't
You
think.
got to analyze it though, and
Yeah.
So so I hate to say this, but when the king went to f8 a long time ago, could he have castled queenside? I can't remember.
no.
No, the rook is on
Ah,
b8.
the rook was already moved. Okay, but I mean, you know, king f8 can't be a mistake, obviously, but it seems to be walking towards the g file and all the things, the h file and all the things. It's trying to avoid the e file, but it doesn't actually help.
We had it pointed out to us that bishop f4 is a pain in the neck.
And
Yes, we did.
also
Yes, we
rook
did.
e4 and rook e4 and rook he1 is also an idea, doubling on the e file. If you just keep
Okay.
there,
Yeah.
and then bishop f4 and then breaking that totally.
So what about what was wrong with king d7 running away the other way?
Yeah, well, it's already a plus 1.4 by the computer standards. So
Maybe it's just like too much.
there isn't a lot of options.
What was it before? Sorry.
1.4.
So it's not a bad
So
move.
king f8 is
better for white. So actually,
2.
it's sort of implying that king d7 is better than king f8.
Yeah, as per the computer, but both are, and the position itself is rotten.
Yeah, I think.
Can we take the a pawn with impunity?
Oh yeah, yeah.
But you know what? Taking the a pawn also has some danger. Okay, c4 and opening the c file towards the white king.
Oh, that's a thought.
You'll have to take with the bishop. Yeah. This black is activating.
Put the other rook over.
Yeah, and see it. Some activity for black. Even though black is quite, I mean, the position is really rotten.
Yeah, but it's got to be looked at, and also, well, you know, it's for our benefit. It's quite entertaining.
Because black's pieces, the knight is pinned, the queen is not able to move and stuff. So.
I almost prefer black's position now to the one we were analysing later. Obviously.
Yeah. Black has some activity. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think as things turned out, king King F8 was a bit of a turkey.
Well, it looked like well, I don't know. But
Well, yeah, but with respect, we hadn't delved into it, have we?
no. Interesting.
Yeah, I think there are some positional errors from the opening, obviously from Black. When we were first discussing it, I thought this was a fine move because
Oh yeah,
this bishop isn't really doing anything on the queen's side. But I do wonder where the position went particularly wrong.
Well, it looks like the computer's
that is
saying bishop f3 isn't a good idea.
well, I mean, there is the Fort Knox variation where we're just playing for some exchanges with bishop from c8 to d7 to c6. If the point is there a break, either then e5 or the thematic c5, and if there isn't, then white still is better. It's a game to be played, as David Lofts used to say. It's a game of chess. It's not the end of the world. Sometimes in these positions, playing c6, which looks very quiet and un-French, more like, well, it's Caracan sort of thing. White can get frustrated and not necessarily break through immediately. I mean, here you can castle after c6. You can castle short, yeah. And I don't see why you should, file for a divorce.
I like your thinking there. C6 looks better than C5.
Yeah, it's something which French defense players have come to accept, that there are other ways around these things.
Yeah,
C5 begs D5 straight away. Which changes the whole game.
It's just very committal.
I think this transformation of the structure and leaving the king in the center and allowing G5 so soon is, I think this is the issue.
Yeah, white played very energetically, I think.
B5 looks to me, because it was never followed up, was it?
No.
So I don't like B5, but I like everything else, I think.
But when did the bishop ever drop back from D6? Because the bishop on D6 looks strong, whereas the queen ended up that point there. So
what's the idea here?
Yeah, what was the point of that? Because especially if you then put the queen onto D6, which
queen is a very poor.
I think they didn't want multiple exchanges on F6, so the rook joins in the fun with the bishop when it moves.
Okay, yeah.
Otherwise, structurally, you can just bugger up the pawns, and the rook on G1 sings.
But interestingly, that might have been better, mightn't it?
Well, it's easy to be clever with hindsight.
Yes, it is.
If only I had
certainly putting the queen on D6, as we later saw, and I think Sid, you commented, a queen isn't a very good piece to blockade a pawn.
Yeah, that is
queen is behind.
Queen is the worst blockader.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But a very nice game by white, actually. I think white played very energetic moves of G4, G5, and opening the G file.
I think he was a much better player.
Yeah. Because this thing of playing so energetically is not making errors is very difficult. I mean, typically, even though you are attacking somewhere, you will lose the thread or the plot. Under time pressure or something will happen in the game.
Well, it's a game, isn't it? That's the thing. It's not exact science. So
yes, as we saw in the World Championships,
didn't we? Just it was exciting, but it was a funny feeling. I don't know what the old champions would have thought of all of that. But, well, it's taken a long time for the World Championship to sort of grow up. Maybe now we've got, broadly speaking, what we want. Difficult to know.
Correct.
Anyway, thank you for this.
Yeah, thank you, James.
It was nice.
My
Yeah,
pleasure.
we got some ideas.
I think I'll go to bed now. Not that you needed to know that, but
But yeah, there's more chapters to this book than just the first, so I'm happy
Yeah.
to look through and find some interesting stuff.
Yeah.
For this one, I just wanted to see test if this was a decent format, but I think it's spawned some discussion, which is think for a minute, and then we'll come together.
Okay.
This is from your game or some puzzle book, or how you have constructed?
No, this is just Lichess puzzles. So I've just
Okay.
clicked Lichess puzzles, and it's given us this one.
Good idea, because you don't know the answer and you don't know anything about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I noticed you were using Lichess for going through the games.
Yeah.
Which actually was I don't think we've done that before. Most people use
Chess base.
I don't have
base.
chess base because I'm cheap.
That's fine, but to be honest, the Lichess, I think it had some. Well, it was at least as good, and it had some slightly different things that look better. So that's worth looking at.
Yeah. Lichess is a good free platform.
Agreed.
But ChessBase is quite fantastic. Okay, Roberts, once you look at ChessBase, right, you will never go to some other.
I would like to have chess base, but it's expensive at the moment, so
No,
How
you
much
can
is
I'm
it?
take,
sure I'll get it at some point.
you can take the subscription. I have the subscription of ChessBase, online ChessBase. That is not very costly.
Okay, I'll look into that. Thank you. Yeah.
I'm thinking how to use the h3 pawn in the attack. That is.
I want to. Should we discuss it now?
Yeah.
I want to get my F pawn up to F5 because he can't take with the G pawn, obviously.
Oh, yeah,
And-
pin.
And if he takes with the E pawn, I feel as if I've got some kind of X-ray attack on H7, but I haven't quite worked out how to get in there.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay.
So I can't make the moves, otherwise it will.
Yeah, let's not make the
fail us.
moves. So
It's okay,
So
we
if-
can imagine them.
So
I think
yeah,
the moves
I
are
think
very
it's a good
slow, Martin.
exercise for visualization as well. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
so I think F5 might be too slow because of the passed pawns. So just A4, and I think probably White's doing fine. I don't see how the attack. Yeah, so say F4, F5, sorry, A4, F4.
Well, unfortunately,
I mean, can you just
take
ignore
with
it?
the E. He takes.
Yeah.
But I was maybe I need to put my queen into F6 first.
I want to play queen f3 first and double on the 7th rank or second rank, whatever you want to call it. And no, after queen f3, your queen is tied to f1, right? So I want to deflect the queen later on. That is my idea. How do I deflect? So I was thinking after queen f3, I'll double on the 7th rank and then play rook e2, exchange one pair of rooks, and then what? There's no headway.
If you play Queen F3, they have
Oh,
Queen
sorry,
takes
F3.
H3.
Okay, queen h3 is possible.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
and with a
no
check.
good, yeah.
Okay, so I can't do that.
No. No.
So
Is there a way to get our rooks over here, maybe, or here to help?
you mean
Because
retracting.
say we had this rook here and the queen helping, and then this rook here. That I don't think there's a way that they can defend.
Hang on. I've
Rook
got an
e5.
idea.
Rook
Okay.
e5, rook f5. That you are saying? Rook d5, rook f5.
No.
Not sure. I'm not sure if that's too slow.
I've got an idea when you finish your train of thoughts.
I think I don't have anything else.
Okay, tell us, Martin.
Well, it's just an idea. It seems slow, but rook to c3 or rook to c2. I haven't worked out which, and then double on the 7th.
Yeah, that I
Yes,
also thought.
interesting.
Then
But-
that is a threat because rook takes f2, queen takes, rook takes, king takes, queen f3 followed by queen g2 is mate.
Yes.
Yeah,
So that's the
okay.
threat.
That's dreaming. Yes.
Right,
I
so that's
think-
the threat, but it's only a 2-move combination. So I don't know which rook to move.
So s-
Probably
I think rook
that one.
c2. Rook c2 looks like good.
Yeah, so let's do that one. So then he has to defend by
can't
putting.
you just push b5?
Then
Well,
I
you
will
want-
double
no,
on the
well, then
7th
it's
rank.
too late then. You've got to defend by rook rook d1 somewhere, surely.
Hmm.
Are you saying you can ignore it? You can't. I don't care if you've got 3 moves to queen. My combination is 2 moves.
Yeah. So rook c2, you have to play rook d1. That is what you're telling, right?
I think so.
Yeah. So what in that case can
So
Mm.
then I can take on f2, and if you take with the rook, then I can take your rook, and then have I got a mate coming?
no after if he trades one pair of rooks, then your idea is not working, right? So if you play
No,
rook
it's a different idea then, because you go rook d1 check.
so first move you play rook c2, he plays rook a d1, and then you play rook 3 d2, right?
No, no, then I play rook f2.
No, it is white's turn. First move you played rook c2, he
Yeah.
played rook a d1.
Then I
Oh,
play. then
the
I-
a pawn hangs.
Well, never mind that. We're not interested in those. We want to win, don't we?
Yeah. So we not double. So you play rook 3 d2.
No. I don't do that then. Then I change tact and I take on f2 with the rook. And then
Okay.
when he takes with the queen, then I can take his rook on d1.
Okay.
And then he takes, and then I play queen d1. Hang on. Then he plays queen f1. Okay. No, it doesn't
And
work.
then you've got these pawns. Yeah.
No, if you trade
I think if you
everything-
do this, and then take, surely that's fine for black.
Might be. So in which case you're saying he can't do that rook. He maybe has to do the other one.
Yeah. So okay, if he does the other one, yeah.
Then you can take on e6, e3. Yes. So rook c2 followed by rook e d1. If he does that, then you can take rook e3.
What is the idea if he takes with the pawn?
Then you've got rook to g2 check.
Okay. He goes king
Uh,
h1.
Then can we double the rooks?
The rook's gone.
One rook is
yeah.
gone, right?
Oh yeah. Well, there must be a better move with the queen. Queen f3 has to come in at some point, but I'm not sure when.
But the problem of queen f3 is that queen h3 is dropping the pawn.
Yeah. But not.
It looks like a tricky problem. But the doubling on the 7th rank looks like a good idea.
So can we do it in a more in a better way?
Could you try?
Yeah. Rook b3. Is that any good?
Rook b3 again, he will play rook e d1.
Well, then we could swap off and pick up a pawn.
Okay, it's okay. White at least is trying to avert the mate because okay, he has 2 extra pawns. He can get rid of some pawns and at least not get mated, right? Because black's attack is there. As soon as one pair of rooks leave the board, then black will not be able to checkmate, I think. isn't it?
Yeah, that's why I want to use the queen, but it's tricky, isn't it?
Robert, let's move this rook c2 or rook b2, whatever you want to move. I think rook c2 looks more logical. You want to keep control of both the main.
Yeah, I'm unsure on this idea because it looks like in the moves we've been calculating, it doesn't look like
No.
we're making enough progress.
I could be just completely wrong with the idea of doubling the rooks.
I think that's the only thing really in the position. I think this is the square that we need to focus on. And you're right, doubling is a good way to do that.
Yeah.
Somehow. But it looks like, yeah, these moves to trade off nullify it.
Yeah, because the pass pawn thing will not work. Otherwise, yeah, what Martin idea was like if it gets double.
Oh, hang on.
That is another thing.
White
Rook
take the
d5.
rook on d3, so don't worry about taking there. So play rook c2 here. Then one of the rooks goes to d1. So is there a better move than trading? Let him take, and you take back with the pawn. So that's when you play f6. Oh no. Oh.
I think what Robert is showing, and in fact, I also said that in the beginning. First play rook d5, and then swing the rook to f5. And then attack that way.
Because I've seen what it does.
You control the d file. Yeah, you don't prevent
d1.
rook 8.
Yeah.
So it can't defend.
Do that.
Yeah, so you play rook d5 and then rook f5, and then you're ganging up on f2.
Yeah, because you can't get the rook in to defend.
Correct. So I think rook d5 is the solution. Let's see. You play this now.
Yeah, rook d5.
Rook d5. Let's try it. Okay, and then swing it over again.
Yeah.
And then there's no defense. Yeah.
Yeah. Well done. Well done.
Yeah, because
it's the idea is to get everything pointing here, but it's just how to do it. I thought doubling looked really good, but it was some complications, wasn't it?
What was the breakthrough not long ago that suddenly made you go rook d5?
For me, I think we were thinking about
it was I was trying to actually get the rook here to sacrifice or something.
Yeah.
Because I thought I thought the only way to do it, this was the quickest way to do it, to get to this square. But then you said doubling, and I thought that actually made more sense.
Yeah, in fact, I also thought about rook d5, rook f5, I think in the beginning. But then later on, we realized that the other doubling is not working. He's playing this move rook a d1 or rook e d1, and this thing.
And then this stops the rook a d1.
Yeah, it stops rook a
d1. If I hadn't mentioned doubling on the 7th, you might have suggested rook d5 earlier.
Or maybe we couldn't have got the right idea. After you suggested that, then we understood the power of rook d5.
Yes, I think it's clear. I think it's clear to see that we're trying to attack f2.
Yeah.
It's just how to do it. And I wasn't sure if that was too slow with these pawns.
Moves too slow, isn't it?
Yeah, and also there is another point. After once we land there and then we play.
Well, this is only 2 moves as well.
Yeah, but this is preventing the move rook a d1,
rook
right?
A-D1.
Or rook e d1. And then what is happening is once you swing to rook f5, you sacrifice on f2. And then once he does that, I mean, what Martin said, queen f3 and queen g2 mate, that will happen, right?
Yeah. So we had the right idea with the 7th rank, but it doesn't work. But
even this draws. Getting it doubled here even draws. That's strange.
Well, you turn the engine on there. Oh, minus.
So rook c3 was stronger than rook c2.
But what does rook d5 say? What does it say to the engine when you do rook d5?
It's the only winning move in this position.
Yeah. Interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just to gang up on this pawn. I thought, when I looked at it, I thought just playing
You probably somehow imagine that you did, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Even though I saw us getting here, I just wasn't sure that it was convincing enough.
The trouble with these puzzles is when you've seen the answer, it's obvious, and you can't understand why you didn't see it earlier.
Well, yeah.
But this puzzle was a hard level. What was the rating of this puzzle thing?
Around 2000, I think.
You will push, and then I will push b5. Deflect your king there, that side, and
I think you're.
one has to count. This will require some counting because this king pawn ending will require some. Or
Yeah.
maybe white can start with. White should start with h5. Probably one has to see this also. Compare the two choices. h5 is. You play
I
that.
like
Yeah,
I
because
like
then
h5
you can get
because
in.
the king leave the pawn on b4 because
The
when
king
the
has to
king
go all the
has
way
to
over
go
here.
all the way over there,
Correct. h5 I think is the best move, which should
we
be
will have been near enough to win with
Yeah.
an h pawn.
Yeah, my instinct was to play king e4 to gain opposition, but then they have this waiting move.
Yeah, yes. h5 I
Um,
think it should be winning.
Yeah.
And then
Oh, hang on.
I suppose the move is probably.
Not necessarily.
I
It
think
might
it
be
is
better to
because
go king f3.
you can shield like that.
No, hold on. So here
You
if
can't-
you play b5 and he plays there, takes.
I think it
Hang on. No, king d3 is better. Because
Why?
you can't then go to c4.
And when he pushes the pawn,
Well, then you move over, and then when he
Ah.
goes there, then you take, and then you're nearer. Because you've got two moves over to the.
Is there a difference here though?
yeah, because he will lock you. Okay, if you push the pawn and you go
And then he
traps your
follows
king.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's a really smart move, Martin.
Well, I don't know. Is it right?
Just hold on. Let's calculate this. If you play,
I think that's right. I think it's right because
I don't
b5
want
will
him to go
lose.
to c4.
because he just holds your opposition, and now you're blocked.
Yeah, once you're blocked, it will.
So
be a
you're
draw.
here and here, and then you just go like that, and you can't make.
Yeah,
any
I
progress.
think king d3 is the correct move here.
Yeah, so king d3, and then has to go up here.
Well, no, you can
And
do.
then you get in.
You can do e4, of course.
Oh yeah,
But then you
E4,
come
then I'll
back.
play
and then
king.
you go back, and then the difference is you don't have to waste.
Yeah,
You
you
don't
will
have to
one
go
tempo,
up to there.
one
You've saved
tempo,
a move.
Yeah, you're a tempo up.
and you will play king. Yeah, so you will win. I think. Yeah.
Martin, what a move.
Yay. Plus 59.
Yeah, so I
This will
guess
be a draw.
Try the other one.
just
That will be
to
a draw.
just to
Can you do
show
that?
what Martin was
Oh,
saying.
that's a draw. Yeah.
Yeah, because you block the king. I trap the king, right? That is right.
Yeah. This is a classic draw. Brilliant.
And then
That's a good puzzle.
so it's on one of the chessable courses I
Same thing,
have.
exactly same thing. You see
Yeah.
that?
So this is you were right. So the idea is to stop the black pawn advancing
Yeah.
and also be in time to protect your pawn. So
Pawn, yeah.
this
Correct.
the correct continuation is to come to the middle.
Hang on. Go back. So go back one more square. Move rather. So the obvious thing is if white moves his pawn up, it gets taken.
White moves his pawn, then he will lose because king will come and catch the pawn,
And yeah, exactly.
and
that's-
this black pawn is too far ahead.
Right. So that's the first thing. So white mustn't do that. And then as a beginner in your mind, you would say, well, how do you stop the black pawn from queening?
Yeah.
It's the
King G7.
yeah. So the threat of your pawn queening with check
Is two moves.
is too tempy on the black pawn, so you're able to stop the black pawn
Right,
because you're too
okay,
you're too tempy away.
And when you're moving diagonally, right, you are also threatening to come and support your pawn promoting. Okay, so
Right.
that is why you are coming diagonally
Yep.
and even thinking I'll come closer to the white pawn and
So
promote.
king g7 is okay, but king h7 would be losing.
king h7 would
Correct.
be losing. Correct.
Right. So that's
Because the king can play this, and then
yeah, that's it.
you're
And
too
then-
slow.
Yeah.
You can see that's losing straight away. So let's just see why King G7 isn't losing, because it's not obvious
Yeah.
initially. It's not obvious.
Okay. So what will black play? Tell the move.
Might as well move the pawn up, mightn't we?
So black, if black pushes the pawn, then he
Yeah.
plays king f6.
Yeah. And now you think, well, black can push the pawn, but then
If you push the pawn, then I don't try to catch the pawn, but I will go
No.
and try to promote my pawn. Not
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
You have to play. You have to play
you have
E5
to go there.
because
Okay, yeah.
you're one
Okay,
tempo
okay.
away from here and 2 away,
Now-
and it spends. And
now
black has
you're
to spend 2
threatening.
tempo.
Yeah.
Now you're threatening. So pawn up again for black.
And the
Pawn up.
problem is that white promotes with check.
Yeah.
It will
And
be a
then-
draw. So he will not. Black will not.
It's
promote
it's
a
still
black.
it's still a it's still a draw.
Still a draw.
Is
This
it?
is a draw, but this is what white is playing for a draw only. So
Yeah.
black
Right.
should try to catch the pawn
Oh, so the
King
winning move
B7.
is King B7. Yeah.
and hold on. So no, don't promote.
Well, black's won anyway,
So
right?
black
'Cause
will
you
play
can't-
king. Yeah. So
Well, black's
white.
won now.
Correct. Black has won.
Yeah,
Hold on. So
exactly.
we made a mistake from white. So at this point, that's what I'm saying. He should play king here.
King E7 to
King E7
protect
or
the.
even king E7 or king D6 also is fine. I mean, king E7 or king E6 is also fine.
Right.
Both are fine.
So was King E5 lost?
Yeah, king E5 is lost.
Right. So you start going for it on the diagonal, but then you change your mind and protect your own pawn.
Yeah. So the idea is that if black pushes, then you're in time to protect your own pawn.
Yeah.
But if black goes for your own pawn, you're in time to either stop the pawn pushing or protect your own pawn.
Yeah.
Hang on.
So-
So you do go King E5.
No. When he moves the king. when
if
he
he
moves-
if he moves the king to come
Yeah.
in
Then
and get
you
the
go.
pawn, then you use the flexible move to try and
Right.
cover both things. So
Rather than that,
this-
it is. I think in the book it is called killing two birds with one stone. If you
yeah,
Right.
so this is the move. So if black were to push, then you forget about your pawn and you chase their
no.
pawn.
In that
Well,
case,
you've
hold
lost
on.
it.
Yeah.
You've lost it.
No, it's not
No,
losing.
no.
It's you're trying to draw.
No, now you go H2.
You can't. It's white's move.
Oh, okay. Well,
So
now
the-
you go. No. Then you go H2. Now you go H2. No, don't take the pawn. Go H2. That's a win for black. So-
Martin, 1 minute. James,
No,
you
it's because it's because we're trying to.
James, you made a mistake. Go back. Yeah.
now.
Where? No, yeah, that's what. That's what I'm.
You
Sorry,
should retreat. Yeah,
No,
you should go.
yeah,
not
so I'm
catch the
saying.
pawn.
Yeah. You're threatening to promote
Yeah.
yours as well. Sorry.
Right, so you change your mind again and go back.
Yeah, that's what. When he is
Didn't say
approaching
that.
your pawn, then then C7.
If black pushes the pawn, you go back to
You could-
D6.
Because you can no longer catch
You
it.
can't catch the
Yes.
pawn. You have to.
But if their king decides to take,
then you enter the
you,
temple.
Then
you
you-
go after the
yeah,
pawn.
exactly. Sorry,
Yeah.
I got the
No,
moves mixed up on the board.
Yeah.
No,
So
his,
you-
this calculation is very. This is actually, I think, in the book also it's mentioned in Doretsky, killing two birds with one stone. When you are moving diagonally, you are also keeping understanding black's move, and depending
Yeah.
on that, you change the plan. Okay,
Yeah.
if he approaches your pawn, then sometimes you have to rush to your own pawn and promote it. And if you see that, okay, he is pushing his own pawns, then if he's
Yeah.
attacking your pawn, then you change to his pawn and take
Yeah.
it.
So you keep changing strategy depending on what black does.
Yeah.
You're trying to stay flexible because
Yeah.
you have to make black spend tempo in order to catch it.
Yeah,
Because
you are
you're,
two tempi behind actually. You are outside the
yeah,
square by two tempo, right?
and
So
but
that's
you by playing this, you no longer threaten.
yeah. That is totally lost because he
Yeah.
plays king b6 and then lost.
It's crazy that
Yeah.
you know one square.
So this is quite
changes the whole
deep
game.
study. Okay, this Reti study is quite famous, and this is quite deep study.